Basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skitty, and Melly for the Insight NBA show.
G'day everyone, welcome to the Inside NBA show. I am your host, Matty G. Welcome to week 18. It is the preview. We are here for a good time, not a long time, just like the NBA fantasy season, which is coming to a wrap really soon. So we got to put in the work. We got to get down to it. Big shout out to our sponsors. Of course, Standard Squeeze. I'm spinning from a 4-1 tonight while I do the show. IFS code 2025 is going to give you 15% off all their gear. Let's get down to it straight away. It is a streamer's paradise bar one day this week on Friday, with the most games being 10. There's a lot of opportunities this week to really make it work in week 18. We start off with 8 games on Monday, 7 games Tuesday, 9 on Wednesday. There's 5 on Thursday, 10, again, that bumper day for the week on Friday, 6 on Saturday, and then 9 on Sunday. So look, it's a bit of a heavier end of the week schedule. If you look at that again, like it's Wednesday to Sunday, there's 3 games of like 9 or 10 to the 2 down games, the low volume game days of Thursday and Saturday. So we need to make it work. We need to make the waiver wire, and we can really start that off really strong by focusing on 3 games within 4 nights. And the 4-game teams this week, there is a whole bunch of them. Every team in the NBA either plays 4 games or 3 games. There's no 5 gamers. There's no 2 gamers. So there's only one schedule difference between the most teams and the others. So on 4 games this week, we've got the Celtics, the Nets, the Hornets, the Bulls, the Nuggets, the Pistons, the Pacers, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Heat, and the Timberwolves. Coupling that up with the Pelicans, the Thunder, the Phoenix Suns, Portland Trailblazers, the Wembyless Spurs, Raptors, and the Jazz. And wrapping us with 3 games this week, that means we've got Atlanta, Cleveland, the Cavs, the Mavs. I love Cavs and Mavs together. It just sounds fun to say. The Warriors, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, the Bucks, the Knicks, the Magic, the 76ers, the Sacramento Kings, and the Washington Wizards. And I hate saying this, but these guys put an absolute hurt on the Charlotte Hornets today. 141 points, 141 to a measly 88 points. I thought it was a 90 score when I saw this for a second. I mean, notwithstanding, I thought it was an all-star score for Portland. And then I saw 88. I'm like, did they just not do anything? I thought, when I first saw it today, I thought maybe the last minute, I hadn't seen the scores yet. I was spending time with the family. I thought, you know what? Maybe LaMelo missed out. Nope. LaMelo played. He played 21 minutes before going down. 1 from 10 from the field. They got pounced. I thought Mark Williams mustn't have played. Must have rolled out Musa or Nurkic. Nope. Mark was Williams. Maybe Bridges. Nope. Pretty much the usual starting 5 went out there and got absolutely steamrolled by the guys who have the absolute best schedule in the NBA this week. Now, they do this. The Trailblazers, they play the Jazz, the Wizards, and the Brooklyn Nets. As well, I tweeted this out today. I have no idea what the Nets are doing at this point. They overtook the team above them in the standings in the Philadelphia 76ers today with Klacko. Just his gut instinct was like, just get it, Nick. Just get the ball and just put it back in. And I think there was a collective gut instinct from the Philadelphia 76ers and just not to box out. Just let them go. But big Klacko got in there, no minutes from MB down the stretch. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But they've gone up in the standings. But the Portland Trailblazers here is a really good schedule with those teams this week. So we can definitely look to them. It is a little bit rougher for the Los Angeles Lakers there. These guys play the Mavericks, who they obviously made that huge trade with, the Timberwolves, and the Clippers twice. So a bit of a home and home there for LA in LA for the week. So that's going to be a big one for the Lakers. So let's just be a bit wary of that when they have a tough schedule, strength of opponent, and all that factors into it. Now, I did say that we were going to talk about waiver wire ads and waiver targets and hot guys. So let's do this as we break down for a little bit of the weekly preview.
He's heating up.
So as we get deeper into the weekly preview, we're going to have a little bit of a look into the back-to-back games on this one. And if you're listening to this, well, good. You should. Make sure you do like and subscribe to all of the things for Insight and get involved in our Patreon as well. Exclusives. The deal is down below. We put up our episodes ad-free there before everything, and we cover all of our sports. The Unlimited is amazing, especially in Australia. You've got the AFL show, the NRL show. We've got NBL in the season. There's NFL when that creeps around. There's fantasy football. It's massive. Get down and get onto it. Now, I want to point this out. With the back-to-backs this week, I did mention this is a really good opportunity. If you're going to win your week this week, we can finish off this week on our Sunday to Monday, especially as we know we have a lower volume game day on Monday. It works really well for us. And I'm going to touch on this again later in the show, so make sure you get this one here. The Atlanta Hawks, the Pistons, the Pacers, the Clippers, the Heat, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, and the Wizards. So if you're out there hunting for the win for your week and you really want to target a player or just don't want to get that burn on and just waste it away and just, where am I going to go the next day? Well, you're getting a 2-for-1. You get to finish your week strong and start the next week strong. They all play on Monday. And again, our Monday is a lower volume game day. So we can get burn out of them back to back with the 8 games coming up on Monday. So you're probably going to likely have a roster spot with them to lock it down. Now, that's really beneficial. There are other back-to-backs to burn through the week. On Monday and Tuesday, you've got the Hornets. Tuesday and Wednesday, the Celtics, the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Raptors. Wednesday, Thursday, there are no back-to-backs this week, which is a bit of a shame, especially because we do have that really low volume day on Thursday with the 5 games as well after that 9 games on the Wednesday. So that's a bit of a bummer there, but we can get on that Thursday and Friday, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, and the Suns. We move in Friday and Saturday to the Brooklyn Nets and Detroit Pistons. So we're backing the Pistons up from earlier in the week when we're finishing the week strong with them. And then we're getting them a back-to-back set as well on Friday and Saturday. Again, bearing in mind, Friday is one of the larger volume game days. Saturday and Sunday are the San Antonio Spurs. So they play that really good friendly schedule on the Saturday and on the Sunday. This is all very, very good for them. So we like how this schedule is opening up and how we can make some moves off that one there. The next thing we want to have a look at with our schedule as well is where can we get more games in this to finish off the week? So just like we said this week with the Hawks and Pistons and all those guys, if we're looking to get that win, lock it down and then start our next playoff week strong, because we've got to remember, week 19 in many leagues is when playoffs start, or it's going to be your last regular season week. I'm in a bunch of leagues, and it's the first playoff week for me in like 3, and it's the last competition week, I think, in 4 of them. So we're really looking forward to that at the end of the week as well, especially when we factor in that we do have that higher volume day. So we're going to make the most of that Sunday ad. Can we use it? Are we really set? Or do we do nothing and hold, get one ad on the Sunday that we're not going to use and get the first of the back-to-back set the next week out? So if we are big game hunting that win at the end of the week, we can focus on some teams. We can focus on the Miami Heat, the OKC Thunder, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Utah Jazz. Not that we trust anything to do with Utah and some of their rotations, because everyone seems to be playing now. Larry Markkanen's playing back-to-backs all of a sudden when he usually sits, but it's usually the last 10 or 12 games that Larry goes away for. Let's be just completely fair and transparent on that, even though Collins missed the last one and Jordan Clarkson is no longer playing back-to-backs. But we can get a little bit of burnout of those teams to finish off our week. Now, let's talk about walking our way through the wire here and where we can get some glean. Now, on this Sunday, Monday, I said that there's 3 games and 4 nights available for a whole bunch of teams here. And that's really important. Where I said it was going to make sense a little bit later on in the show, it's now. So if we look at this schedule, we've got some lower volume games on the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Thursday here. All right. So really good. We can use that. Merry Christmas. Use all the games that we want in the world. But starting from this week, and again, in some it's 17 and it's some at 18, we've got to focus on the days where these low volume days are. So if we focus on the low volume days, we start to play around with the Thursday and the Saturday. And there are teams that do play exclusively on that. Are there any teams, Matty, that play on the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday this week? Well, the truth of it is this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there are. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday available for a couple of teams here. Now, that is going to be the only team that does that is the Charlotte Hornets. So they play on the Monday, Tuesday back-to-back. They play on the low-volume day of the Thursday, and they play on that lower day game on the Saturday as well. So the Charlotte Hornets automatically are just putting up flares for us to bring them into our lineups left, right, and center. So we're just bringing in the Charlotte Hornets if we can. And I hate saying that. I feel dirty saying that after today. But it's the truth. So I am going to look at them, and I am going to add them on my waiver target straight away, especially when I think about when I'm writing the wire in my ads. I can get these games, I can get 3 and 4 nights, and I can use them later on, and I can drop them off at the car park here, especially because they do play 3 games in 4 nights on Monday through to Thursday. So all these lower volume games, I've got them there off one ad, especially if I make it beforehand, and I get them again on the Saturday. I could drop them off quite easily on the Saturday game if I need be. Goodbye, Nick Smith Jr. Pick up Lou Dort. There's my Sunday, Monday sorted, and I can start my next week well. I could pick up Robert Williams if I'm looking rebounds, blocks, get someone there. I could bring in one of the Heatles boys. I could do something there, and that's a really smart move. So straight away when I get into that, spoiler alert, again, like the back end of week 17, part 2 show, yeah, I'm probably going to be looking for that around there to get me a little bit more. I'm also looking to get some of that NBA fantasy gear on your back. It's exclusive in our store right now and throughout the month of February, all sales. 25% of the profits are going to the Palisades Elementary School to help rebuilding after the Los Angeles fires. Fellow analyst Dan Brisbas's kid's school was burnt down in that. So we're just trying to give them a little bit of something to show that we care from the other side of the world. Make sure you check out the product button down below. Hit that like and subscribe while you're down there and pick up some awesome NBA fantasy gear right there. So let's talk about this a little bit more in detail. So again, I've got these Charlotte Hornets guys running from the Monday to the Thursday, and I've only got one ad here. This plays into that weekly schedule because I could drop them off and then focus in on that Saturday game. The 9-game Sunday, I'm dropping my worst player, or they're just not even going to play. So this is because they don't have it, and I'm bringing this guy in and I'm riding the waiver wire. That's where it makes a lot of sense for me. The next thing we have to look at, though, is maybe you're not going to do that. Maybe you want to focus on this Tuesday to Friday and you want to go this way, and you've worked that back-to-back set from the last week. So this is where this fits into it. So maybe you have used a gorgeous Niang there. Maybe you picked up a Fontecchio. Maybe you picked up a Thomas Bryant, for the love of God. Maybe you picked up, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Maybe you picked up Lou Dort. Maybe you've got Bub Carrington on your team and you're going to give that burn on the Sunday and Monday. Where do you go next? Well, you've just got to keep in mind that walking these guys from the Tuesday to Friday, you do run into the 3 games and 4 nights. Obviously, there's a back-to-back in there because they're not going to play any other. So they've got the back-to-back sets in here, and your games here on the Friday, again, your Wednesday and your Friday are higher games of volume. So you've got the Wednesday set and the Friday set. But these teams do here there. If you're dropping off your worst player to make the most of that, you can get more burn and bang for your buck. Now, that's going to be the Celtics, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Suns, your Grayson Allen types, your Royce O'Neals, if he's around, he's been elite lately. And your Toronto Raptors guys in here. Looking that we probably may get by the end of the week some form of update around then on Brandon Ingram because they're doing it fortnightly. It coincides with the next part of the fortnightly cycle when they've said that he might be reevaluated. So we're just looking for that for week 19 and seeing if he's around on the waiver wire and see how he's progressing, to see if we can make a cheeky ad that he may have resumed some form of on-court work and we can stash him into IR. That's probably going to be that's probably a nice little card, although he will be on a minutes limit. I'm sure he's going to get like 20 or 25 if he gets out there for the Raptors and gives it a red hot go in those limited amount of minutes. So we're looking to bring him in there tactically. It just if we can just stash him out, otherwise just leave him. Just leave him alone. It's been a wasted pick for many who are high on BI to start the season up. That's pretty much where we're targeted down here. Now, let's get on down and do it our ads wise and what ads and value we can get if we are looking at to ride our NBA injury report. Or a cold and flu like many people do in the NBA right now. Look, everything is smooth sailing in Atlanta. No real big movements there. But the big one over in, not big one, I guess you can't say it because it's pretty smooth sailing with KP lately and Al Horford in that center rotation. Just Kerter is labeled as questionable for Sunday's game there in Boston. Whereas in Brooklyn, D'Angelo Russell's ankle is going to keep him out up until Monday. So we're just using him. They've been fantastic lately. But the good news is here that Cam Thomas has gone 5-on-5 practice and he is expected to return. So just I said it last week, do a double check of your wires. And Lord knows that he's not out there. Surely he's not out there. Surely if he is, you've already been smart enough by listening to what I've had to say, and some of the other guys have jumped on the show lately, like D-Mac, that we're bringing Cam Thomas and putting him on IR spot if we have an IR spot, or if we've won our week, or if we were looking really good and our opponent's just given up and just done with it. They're coming last. They haven't even bothered to roll out their roster. Yeah, we've picked up Cam Thomas because we know we've got the easy dub. And we've put him on our roster and we're just rolling through the rest of the week that way. Noah Clowney is still out with his sprained ankle. Let's keep an update listen on that one. Daron Sharp has been playing well. Trendon Watford was excellent for the Brooklyn Nets today. Expect him to continue to roll in this similar form until Clowney is back. And then it should be not silly season. It could be Clowney season, just clowning around season. I dare say that things are okay in Charlotte. Be conscious, though, of the back-to-backs they're coming up. As I said, this is where the guys like Moussa Diabate will get some more run. Mark Williams will sit here. Nurk will probably get some more minutes in here. LaMelo will probably tend to get some rest on this back-to-back sets that they've got coming up with those 3 games and 4 nights. So let's look for that value there. That's where Nick Smith Jr. may get a little bit more of a bump, and Joshy Green even in that starting lineup, and Alfred Payton gets more burn. In Chicago, Jalen Smith missed Saturday's game with the Suns. Now, he is in concussion protocols there, and Ayo Dosunmu did miss the last game as well with shoulder soreness. He doesn't have a timetable for return, which means he could be questionable for the next game and make his return. Patrick Williams has been out for the last couple of games. He is going to be reevaluated in a couple of weeks' time, so he's probably been dropped off on the wire, and there's no use to look for around him this week. In Cleveland, Darius Garland and Allen were questionable for Sunday's game. They are still listed as that one. They've got hips and finger issues. So let's wait for that closer. I'm more interested in the sprained ankle here, for probably more the sprained ankle for Darius Garland than I am for Jarrett Allen. The finger thing, the finger sprain, they could just keep that tight and tape it. Whereas the hip contusion, we've heard these hips like just get a little bit worse and aggravated. Emmanuel Quickly is one great example of this. Hip contusion kept him out for weeks. And I think Cleveland may just play it a little safe if it's even flirting with like you shouldn't go. So let's keep our eyes and ears on the ground for the waiver wire. Come on there and pick up anyone, put him in. I think Ty Jerome will get the burn there. In Dallas, PJ Washington is questionable in his game on Sunday for them, even though he's made a return this week, probably just being a little bit conscious there because they don't want to run it out there, especially with Dwight Powell also having that hip sprain. Good news on the Anthony Davis front. Now, he is going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks' time. And so is Derek Lively. They've even given us a date. It's March the 6th. So mark this one in your calendar. You get through this week and you're laughing. You are looking at getting a reevaluation on Thursday, the 6th of March. So Friday. So that is going to be, we've got 2 more weeks now of action. That is absolutely prime playoff time. So he is going to be back, hopefully with that update. Now, they're scheduled to be reevaluated on the 6th. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be coming back that week. Now, if that is a Thursday, and him, I mean AD and Lively, if he has said then that he's been cleared for practice, he could resume a practice on the Friday, run on Saturday, and play on the Sunday to finish off that week. That would be really nice. Again, if your playoffs are starting, now I'm going to open up one app right now and have a quick look at mine. I know that I've got, I think this was my second last week, or there's 2 more weeks to go. Here we go. League info, schedule. All right. I have 2 more weeks of the regular season, and that week wraps up in the 9th of March. So I might just be getting him back then. Now, this is a non-IR league spot. And if you're in a similar situation here, this is the news that you're praying for. It's around that 4 weeks that they said. They're going to play it obviously close to the chest with these guys. They're 2 bigs in the middle, but they need him back out there. They need both of them back out there, although they've been playing well in fairness to the Dallas Mavericks. But we do have that date officially on it. All smooth sailing over in Denver and Detroit, whereas in Golden State, Jonathan Kuminga, he's been making his way back from a sprained ankle and would be returning hopefully this week. In Houston, we've seen Jayshawn Tate, Steven Adams, and Tara Eason. They all missed Saturday's game, but Fred VanVleet did not immediately return after the All-Star break. Now, that was an ankle strain there with him. He was supposed to return just after the All-Star break, and technically we're just after the All-Star break. And if he returns this week, which we are hoping he does, he has returned just after the All-Star break. So ears and eyes to the ground that way, and we move him out of IR respectively when we get the nod there. All smooth sailing with the Indiana Pacers, whereas the Clippers, Norman Powell is questionable after missing the last game with a knee issue, and Kawhi Leonard is also questionable due to foot soreness. Ben Simmons is going to play Sunday, but obviously then rest because it's the second leg of a back-to-back set. First game good, second game not bad, but again, back-to-back set. And again, this is where I would be playing him one night and Kawhi one night, him one night and Kawhi one night. Although he fits, he's a really good defensive option when Kawhi isn't available. So let's maybe hope that they get that. All is good with the Los Angeles Lakers for now. We can no longer report on Christian Wood because he is no longer with the team. Whereas in Memphis, all smooth sailing here as well. In Miami, Kevin Love is going to be out due to personal reasons to wrap the season up, and he might be a buyout candidate at this point as well. In Milwaukee, Bobby Portis, this has gone for some, I think it was like a 24 news hour cycle before people were like, wait, what? Bobby Portis is suspended? They've really slapped this bloke with the book. Maybe because he slipped Medjic all those years ago. Who knows? Finally, some comeuppance. Bobby Portis has been suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy. So we're looking to absolutely pick up anyone with everyone. Torian Prince, I think, is going to do a lot more heavy lifting there. Kyle Kuzma is getting a lot more extra burn as well. So is Jackson. Let's just hit and play where we can with the Milwaukee Bucks. With Pat Connaughton, now he's going to miss the Sunday's game, but I expected some more of that workload from Bobby Portis to fall on his shoulders as well. In Minnesota, Rudy Gobert is going to be out Sunday against the Thunder because of back issues. Julius Randle has been cleared for the Timberwolves. So let's look for an update this week on the big orange Julius to return, whereas Dante DiVincenzo has only been cleared for non-contact practice, and we're looking probably him for it to return in probably week 19, might not make it back to the court in week 18. In New Orleans, Brandon Boston Jr. is out on Sunday with a sprained ankle again, hopefully returning by the end of this week for those who hear him on the streaming list. OG Anunoby made his return to the court this last week for the New York Knicks, but he is questionable on Sunday's game with that foot issue still against the Celtics. Josh Hart is also questionable, and he's missed the last two with knee soreness after the break, but he could be looking to insert back into the lineups against the old enemy, the Boston Celtics. Smooth sailing in Oklahoma City, whereas Orlando, Jonathan Isaac is questionable on Sunday through illness, whereas Jalen Suggs is still out with his quad issue. I have started to see him issue being dropped on waiver wires, and I'm completely surprised. Now, they have a timeline, but they're not rushing him back until he's 100%. So this means like they've got something in mind, but they're just not telling it. Like, well, we would like this date, but we don't have transparency. It's almost like a Charlotte Hornets report, for the love of God. Philadelphia, the Sixers are hopeful that Justin Edwards is going to be back on Monday, and Joel Embiid's attitude is still probably needing some service there as well. Phoenix Suns are all smooth sailing, whereas in Portland, Robert Williams missed Saturday's game with a knee issue. He's going to miss a lot of these with the knee issues. And even though in that game as well, Donovan Clingan wasn't that great as well. So just keep your eyes on your wire for people being underwhelmed by a couple of games from Donovan Clingan as well. Now, we know about his upside. We know it. He blew up just before the break. And then a couple of this ones, people are like, oh, man, I've got to get someone else. I've got to get the next hot free agent. Just watch those happy on the trigger finger people who might drop Donovan Clingan after a disappointing one today, especially against a team that he got wiped. In 19 minutes, 8 and 5, 1 steal, 1 block, perfect from the floor, didn't do much else. But then they rolled out the backup crew. You know, Walker was out there. Sharp was out there. I mean, Banton wasn't great. Duop Reith saw 10 minutes of action, for the love of God. But if anyone's just thinking like, oh, he hasn't been great the last couple, and they drop him, well, one, great for you. Let's hope you're up the top of the waiver priority list because he won't last there for long. All good in Sacramento, whereas in San Antonio, obviously the big heartbreaking news of the last week. Well, Victor Wembanyama is going to miss the remainder of the season with a blood clot in his shoulder and a speedy recovery to him. Jakob Poeltl is questionable after that hip injury, the hip pointer issue on Sunday. And in Utah, John Collins was out on Saturday with a back issue, and Jordan Clarkson didn't play on the second night of that back-to-back set. Jordan Clarkson's ankle is going to be reevaluated this week. It's taken a little bit longer to come back to the court, and we all know why. Because they want Isaiah Collier to run the show with Keontae George, and that's been going very well. But still, he's around there, and Colin Sexton should be returning very, very soon. Whereas in Washington, Alexander Sarr and Bilal Coulibaly are both questionable for Sunday. against the Magic. Now, they've got hip and ankle issues respectively, whereas Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, and Malcolm Brogdon have already been ruled out for that occasion, and that is going to be a frequent occurrence until the end of the season. We could bring these guys probably into our lineup here and there, but then we are dropping them off at the car park because we definitely know they are not going to be used for any back-to-back action. That about does it for me. Make sure you do like and subscribe to All Things Insight and onto our Instagram as well. Insight at Insight Fantasy NBA. We've got it all down there. We're doing content pretty much daily until the end of the season. Guys, be well. Take care. More videos, including the must ads and another one of like the guys you must add shows with the guest analyst coming up this week. Be well. Take care. I'll see you soon. Be well.